Hi everyone. So today's video, first of all, I want to apologize for it coming out so late. I'm actually going to post this video on my vlog channel and on my Patreon today. Now it is 8:20 p.m. and I am just now sitting down to film. I still have to clean my house and get it ready for tomorrow because Christmas is being hosted at my house. So I have to make sure the house is clean. This video is going to be the 10 things I learned in 2020. So I think this is a very important topic to talk about. Someone actually recommended me this on Patreon. I do want you guys to take a moment to appreciate my makeup. I actually did a get ready with me today on Patreon Live this morning at like 10 a.m. So there's my makeup for today. I wanted it to be red and green, but I didn't want it to be like super boom. I wanted it to be wearable, so that's my makeup. Okay, anyways, things I learned in 2020. Sorry, Kappa's really bored. I can tell that he really wants some entertainment, so let's hear that. Sorry, I have the laser pointer going. 2020 has been a hard year for everyone, and I think it's very important that we all can reflect on things that we've learned, and hopefully maybe some of the things that I've learned you have learned as well. And I think honestly we all need a fresh start in 2021. The sad part is we just are all so over 2020. But the fact is that it's not gonna get that much better in 2021. You know, a day is not gonna change anything. So, and yes, it is a fresh start, but we do need to change ourselves. And to do that, we have to acknowledge the things that we did wrong this year or things that we've learned. So I wrote down 10 things that I learned in 2020. And number one is start today, not tomorrow. And the reason why I put this as number one is because holy crap, this year went by so fast. I mean, we were in quarantine, so that's probably why. But also on top of that, like I remember my last year's resolutions, and my last year's resolution was to work out more and lose weight, and I actually just gained it. Like I was like, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds, and I fucking gained 30 pounds. So yeah, and it's been a whole year. I've had a whole year to do that, and I literally have not lost any weight. So yeah, I don't know. My 2020 resolution was not met. There was a lot of things that I was putting off. There was a lot of things that I was like, oh, I'll start on Monday, and then Monday would come, I would never, or I'd be like, well, I'll wait till next month, or I'll wait till right now, I'm like, oh, I'll just wait till 2021. And it's like, no, enough with the waiting, just do it now, because there's always gonna be an excuse to push it back. And I realized how fast this year went by and how there were so many things I could have done this year that I didn't achieve. I've been working on this YouTube social media course for months now, and I probably could have had it done probably 2 months ago if I really put my effort into it. But instead, I was like half-assing it. I'm not half-assing the website, but half-assing my time management. Here I am, and it's still not done. So number two is mental health comes first. So this is a huge thing that was important for me this year. A lot of people upset with me or mad that I've been kind of MIA on media and haven't been as active. I was always super active on social media, super funny, super outgoing, but honestly my mental health is just more important to me this year. When I feel too stressed out, I literally step back and I gather myself, because if I don't, you start to see it. You start to see me editing less. You start to see me slack off on my videos. You start to see me not enjoying my videos. You start to see just so many, you can just see it. You can literally just see it, feel it. It's obvious. I feel it, I see it, Josh sees it. It's so obvious when I am stressed out. I am somebody whose stress really impacts me. You will see it on my face that I'm stressed out. I will. And so mental health comes first, and that has just been a huge thing in 2020 for me. Number three is stressing is pointless. A lot of things that I've stressed about, there's so many things I can think about in 2020 that I stressed about, and they were all things that I was like, well, what if this happened? What if this happened? And none of those things that I stressed about in 2020 happened. I stressed about probably 100 different things in 2020. Think about some things that you stressed about in 2020. Most of it probably either never happened, worked out to be fine, or wasn't as bad as you thought. And that is a huge thing, and I've really had to learn about just letting stress go, enough with thinking what if, or how about that, enough with it, just let it go, because stressing about something is not going to change the outcome. If anything, it's going to make the outcome worse. Number 4 is you will never be satisfied, so learn to love what you have. Because in 2020, a lot of big changes happened for me. Like I got engaged, I started a new relationship with Josh last year, but it was like really serious in the beginning of this year. I bought a house, I moved into this house, and there was always in my head, I was like, well, once I move into my house, I'll be happier. Or once I get engaged, I'll be happier. Once I don't know, once I lose weight, I'll be happier. Or once I have my extensions back in my hair, I'll be happier. Like there was always little things that I was trying to do, and I would be like, well, then I would be satisfied. Then I would be happy. I'd be happy in every aspect of my life. If I was engaged, if I had a house, and if I felt good, I would be happy. And the thing is you will never be satisfied. Like you think that this one thing will satisfy you, and it won't. Like when I was a kid, I thought having money would make me satisfied. I now have money. I have money where I am super comfortable. I have never had to worry about bills. I've never had to like worry about, okay, what if my car breaks? How am I gonna pay for this? I have been lucky enough to never have to worry about that stuff. And I thought that that's something that would just, sorry, I need to turn this off. Having money when I was a kid would make me satisfied. It doesn't. It literally does not. It doesn't fix one part of your life. Yes, maybe you don't have financial stress, but it does not take away every other stress. And in order to get money, you have to work hard or do something that will most likely put stress on you. So yeah, you're relieving some financial stress, but you will bring on another stress, and I could promise you that. So money does not fix everything. Being skinny doesn't fix everything, you know. Your circumstances in life are not gonna make you satisfied ever. You're never gonna be completely satisfied, and that is a good thing, because technically you don't ever wanna be satisfied and comfortable, because then you'll stop like reaching for goals. But at the same time, you need to learn to be okay with what you have and stop saying, well, if I had this, I'd be happy, or if I had that, I'd be happy, because in the end of the day, there's always gonna be that something that you wish you had. So just live with what you have and stop trying to think about what you don't have, you know? Number 5 is be grateful. I think a lot of people can learn from this. During like the whole pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people became homeless, they lost their businesses that they've worked on for years. A lot of small businesses have had to just file bankruptcy after working for so many years. There's just so many, like you don't think about the domino effect of COVID. Like it's just so crazy. Like there's so much, like one thing affects everything. It's just a whole thing. And I just think being grateful is super important. And I think this year we've all learned to be grateful for something. Whether it was a job you thought you hated and then you lost it, and now you're like, oh shit, like I liked that job more than I thought, I should be more grateful. Or I should be grateful that I didn't even lose my job. I'm grateful that my finances wasn't affected by COVID-19. I'm lucky to not know anyone who passed away from COVID-19, where there's people who have lost loved ones from COVID-19, and I'm grateful to say that none of my family have been really greatly affected by COVID-19, and that's something I'm grateful for. So I've really, really learned to be grateful this year. Number 6 is spend more time with family. So I think everyone learned this in 2021 with like the quarantine and COVID and everything and isolation. Honestly, like I think I took for granted like being able to just hug someone or see someone or go over somewhere and not have to worry or stress about possibly getting somebody else sick. I have only seen my grandma like twice in 9 months. And that has really affected me, and I haven't seen my dad. Like my dad didn't even come here for Christmas. He just dropped the stuff off, and that is hard because like you never know what's gonna happen or when you're gonna see them next. And never in my mind would I thought I would go months without seeing my own dad, you know, or my sisters. Like it's just a lot, and it's scary, and I guess I really do cherish hanging out with my family a lot more. I do. That's something I learned. Number 7 is change is okay. So I've been always someone who hates change. Change can really throw off my mood. It can trigger depression really easily. I talked about this a little bit on my last video about how depression can, like one little change in my schedule or something can really affect me, and I don't know why. I am just very sensitive to change. So I've been someone who really doesn't like change that often. Like there's a lot of things that I changed. Like I used to be super cussy, super funny, super out there, like super trashy, you know? And now I'm more of like this put together like stepmom kind of vibe, and I'm like a big sister to a lot of you guys, where I like am constantly teaching you guys stuff, and I'm more of just like a girl who likes to record her life instead of being an entertainer, and that's okay. That's what I love. I love talking. Like I just love talking, and I love just like, there's so many things that I just have changed. Like there's different things that I enjoy now. I like cooking, I like cleaning, I like ranting, I just like talking. Like literally, if I could just explain to you guys why I love YouTube, it's just because I love talking. Talking is like very therapeutic, especially to a camera. I don't know what it is, but I'm just very, I don't know. So I need to stop thinking that change is always bad. It's scary, but it's not bad. Like I changed a lot of the things on my YouTube, a lot of the things in my past. I've changed a lot, and like I think I was getting really hard on myself because I started YouTube as one person, and now I'm a different person, and my viewership is changing, and my viewers are starting to not like me and stuff. I can't just stay the same, you know, like change is part of growing, and I have to just be okay with that. Number 8 is the only thing stopping you from something is an excuse. So I've learned this a lot. So this kind of has to go with number 1, which is start today and not tomorrow, because there's been so many excuses that I literally have put myself through. Like there's always an excuse. It's like, should I clean or should I have a nap? Because I have a little bit of a headache. When it's like, okay, why don't you take some Advil, put some headphones in, and clean as much as you can. I've noticed that this is my weak spot, that I always find an excuse. I find an excuse to eat bad. I find an excuse to not wake up when my alarm goes off. I find an excuse to, and you know what sucks is it's really easy because I'm not being held accountable by anyone except me. I have no boss yelling at me. I don't really read comments very often, and then when I do, that's what really gets me back in the mood to be like back in business, you know? So honestly, I've really learned that like the only thing stopping me from like healthy, being fit, losing weight is me. Getting out of bed is my depression. But at the end of the day, that's me. Like I have the power to change my mindset. Like obviously depression isn't just that easy, and I know that, trust me, but I have the power to try to get out of bed. I have the power to try and make it easier for me to get out of bed. So excuses are just, if I want it, I will do it. There's enough time in the day to shower because you have to. You make time for things that are important to you, and that's just facts. Number 9 is followers aren't everything. So for the past, like, I never started YouTube, first of all, for followers. Like I started it just for fun, and then people just loved me, and I was like, holy shit, and it was super overwhelming, but I really got high off the feeling of like getting views, you know? And I think that's why I was so successful for like those 2.5 years, where I went from 0 to 1 million subscribers in 9 months. Like I really have not heard of like many channels like get 1 million subscribers in 9 months. Like that is crazy to me. I hit 1 million subscribers on my other channel in a year. So it only took me like a year and something to gain over like 2 million total subscribers, which I think for anyone is insane. You go from being a nobody to like a somebody in less than a year, and you went from being a normal person in high school to having into going on planes and hanging out with the YouTubers you used to like look up to. Like I was very like, I guess, blinded by followers and in that lifestyle. I'm really thankful that I never moved to LA, because I applied for houses there. I really was about to move because I was that blinded, and I'm so glad I didn't leave my family or leave my sister or leave. And I'm so glad I'm here, because I would be a totally different person if I was out there. Like I could just see myself being like totally plastic head to toe and just being a fucking disaster, because I had to stop myself right out of that. And followers just aren't everything. Honestly, being happy for me is everything. And then number 10 is sacrifice is normal. It's normal to have to sacrifice things. This kind of goes with the excuses and kind of goes with start today, not tomorrow. You have to sacrifice things, and it's normal. You shouldn't feel bad for sacrificing things, you know? if I have to sacrifice my channel or my income because my mental health is struggling, then that's something I have to do. Or if I have to sacrifice an hour of sleep to go to the gym, that's something I have to do. If I have to sacrifice hanging out with my friend for an hour because I need to work, that's fine, or vice versa. Sacrifice is okay. I always thought sacrifice was like such like a, I don't know, like I was always worried to sacrifice something. I don't know if it's like a Libra in me. I'm not huge on astrology, but I know Libras are super about balance. And I don't know if it's the Libra in me that like wants, that I feel like if I sacrifice one thing, everything else is off. Like I feel like everything needs to be balanced. Like I need to eat good, work out. I need to have like an even part of every part of my life. And it's so crazy because I've always been like that. Like I really don't like extremes. I don't like to like be overworked, and I don't like to be like over not worked, you know? And like I've noticed, like if I leave, I work Monday to Friday, and then I usually give myself Saturdays and Sundays off. And I've noticed that like it's so hard for me to go back into work. My TV just did that by itself. It's so hard for me to go, like to jump back into work on Monday when I just had 2 days off. And it's just weird. I don't know what's wrong with me, but realize that sacrifice is okay. And it's not always so bad. So those are 10 things I learned in 2020. Comment down below some things you learned. I think we all have learned to be grateful. I think we've all learned that stressing is pointless. And I think we've all learned probably to spend more time with our family and appreciate that stuff, you know? So I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a great Christmas. And I love you guys so much. Bye.